Hi, this is Debbie at Color Everywhere, and today I want to continue with part 2 of Clusters from Scraps, and we're going to be putting things together. In the previous episode, I showed how to do a large group of items to get ready to make tags or different things, envelopes and things like that, using the clusters, putting the clusters together and using them on tags or whatever. So today we're going to do a few of those, and these are just some that I pulled out of the stack. I have quite a stack here. Here's another little stack. Here's some cards and things that are also ready. So we have quite a few here to work on. So let's get started. If you did not watch the previous video, all I basically did was go through and lay out cards in rows, and then I would take the next item that I had a surplus of, and I would lay those out, and then I would also take pieces of paper with script or music, text, and like that, and add those in. And then I would take a some kind of graphic or a digital image and put that with it, with the idea that I would be able to go back and complete this at a later time. I think it saves on storage space. You don't just have piles and piles of little papers laying around, and it's already started, so that when you have time to go back and work on them, you can just do a few at a time without searching all over the place trying to find things. So that's how I do it. Everyone has a different process, but this is how I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on some of these. And this is basically just a process video to show you how I do it. Now these are pieces that have already been dyed. It's manila cardstock. Some of them have been dyed, some of them have been inked, and different things. And this is just some cardstock that I had already. I have some piles of this. So it makes really good backgrounds for tags. You don't have to add any extra strength to them. And let me find my surface here. I use phone book for my glue pad because it's easy to just rip the page off and throw it away. The papers are thin and it goes a long way. So all those phone books that nobody knows what to do with anymore, that's what I do. I use them that way. So I'm just inking these up because I like the way they look that way, and it gives contrast with what in the layers. The past couple of weeks I've really been sorting and going through all of my scraps and just everything I could put my hands on, trying to straighten things out and get items organized so that they'd be easier to actually use. One of my major goals right now is to use up things that I have had for 20 plus years sometimes, and it's working really well. I'm making journals, junk journals, or just journals, using the items that I have, and it works really well. So I'm pleased with how that's going, but it does take time. The sorting takes time. The figuring out how to store them takes time. It just all takes time. So it goes very slowly, and I can work all day on something, and in the end, it's still the room doesn't really look that much better. But it's getting there. I still haven't gotten a needle for my glitter glue, or I mean a pin for my glitter glue that's appropriate. So I'm still having issues with glue rusting the pins and things like that. But I'm still using it. So yesterday I had to clean this tip of this bottle out. It was a mess. Let's see. And one thing that happens whenever you're cleaning things out is everything's in a new place, so you're never for sure where it is. So have to get used to new arrangements sometimes. And then sometimes you find that arrangement didn't work too well, so you have to do something different. But the only way you know is by working through it. Here lately, I've really liked using gauze in what I'm doing. It just kind of adds a little texture to the layers, and I usually just use my glue stick real lightly to get it into place so that it stays where it's supposed to be, just enough to grab it. And then you can go ahead and glue over top of it because it's so thin. This is just regular first aid gauze. It comes in a... Nope, I'm sorry, that's not what this is at all. This is cheesecloth. It came in a big package that I got at the grocery store. But it's very similar. And it's very inexpensive, and it goes a very long way. And I usually just dye it with alcohol inks or whatever I have, whatever I'm doing paper with, I use it on there too. Now another thing that I like to do is I like to use black a lot in my books because it has such a good contrast. And sometimes I use it in the actual tag as a background or whatever, sort of like these aren't tags, but I'll show you what I mean. Oh, here's one like this. So I just like that little pop of black that you get on there. It just makes things stand out a little bit more. So that's a favorite thing that I do a lot. So another way that I get that black in there is by putting black tabs. Now I could put brown. Could put a brown one on here, but I don't think it makes it pop as much as a black one does. If I put the brown, it's going to draw out the browns that are in the tag. If I put black, it's going to draw up the black to your eye's going to start here and it's going to go different places, or start here and work them to the black. So it just depends on what you want to do, what you want to emphasize. And I think I'm going to use the black. This is how I keep my tags, or my tabs, I mean. I have, I don't know, I think maybe 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have about 17 of these little notebooks. Came from the dollar store. I haven't even taken the labels off yet. And I make the pages inside just out of paper that I'm not going to use for something, and make them with all these little levels so you can stick things in there. And that's where I keep my small digital items. like flowers and butterflies and things like that. And I have a shelf behind me, a little roll-around shelf behind me that they sit on. Okay, so now if I had been going to use a corner trimmer on this, and I would have done that before putting these on, because on a smaller tag like this, once you get that, I put double these little circles. That's just a circle in front, circle in the back, because I think it looks more finished. But if I then decided I wanted to cut the corners, it won't fit. So you have to do your corners first if you're going to do that. So that's finished. Except I like to ink the back also, so then it looks really finished and a person can journal on the back of the tag. So that one's finished. Now, this is about as finished as I do them. I might go back later and add a word or something else on here, a button or whatever. But for now, this is as finished as it's going to be, because I'm not sure where this is going to be used yet. So I don't want to finish it up to the point where I can't use it in a generic spot. I can't use it generically, I guess is the best way to say it. Now these owls, I know where they're going to be used, so I can totally finish them. The same with these flower ones. I know where they're going to be used. I can totally finish them. So, all right, here's another one. Now this one, I'm going to make the top rounded, I think. And I know I'm going to use black on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and put those on. You get the first one on and glued down, and then the second one is easy to put on because you can just match it. And sometimes I put eyelets. For instance, here, you put eyelet in the tab. Keep saying tag, in the tab. And then later on, I can go back and put some ribbon or whatever I want to put in there. This is actually painter's paper. I don't know what the exact name of it is, but it comes in a roll, in a large roll, and it's used, painters use it to mask off, masking paper I think is what it's called, to mask off what they're painting. Like, you know, you tape it around your windows, or even auto body shops use it, tape around the car to mask off anything you don't want paint to get on. And it's really a cool paper. Excuse me. It's really a cool paper. It's thin, but if you put it through the printer, it looks really nice, printed on and then inked. It really looks different. So I enjoy using that. But these were some pieces off of some offcuts. So I've had a bunch of those, and I just a lot of these tags that I have in this pile, I put the papers with those, so I'm using those up. Now, even though I have all these things clipped together with this tag, doesn't mean I will necessarily use all of the items. They're just things I put together that I thought might go together as I was sorting them out. I don't have to use every one of them, or I might even find something else I want to use in my stash that I didn't put in here to start with. But it gives a good start to what I'm doing, and keeps me from having to stop and search and search and search for things, or you know, I can stop at any point and just scoop up what I haven't done and put it away until I have time to come back. Now, obviously, this is not going to be big enough for that, so I'm going to add something in there. Let's see what I've got in this little stash. Have to look around a little bit sometimes. Just a matter of looking until you find something that you think is interesting, and then trying it out. Just really, you never know what you're gonna like. Okay, I'm liking that and that. Okay, that looks interesting to me. So, let's see. Get rid of some of those white edges. And just get it all sorted out, and then I can sort of tack it down where it's going to go. Get my layers down. Before I go any farther, I'm going to go back here and glue these pieces. Start with the bottom one. Okay. Let's see. Where did I have my, where did that go? Lost my stuff. Do that all the time. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. Really wanted this over here. Okay. Now, it looks a little blah to me, even with this. It needs a little pop of something, and to me, in this case, the black will do it. I also have this little black flower, but I don't think I'll use it yet. So I'm just going to use a piece of this. Give it a little bit of a mat. This little Ferris wheel on there. Okay. And there's another one finished. Alrighty then. So then I clear the decks for the next one. Let's see. I don't want this to be quite this big, so somewhere over here I have some templates. Another piece of paper, some brown paper. It could be craft paper, or it could be from a sack or a bag. If you're not from the South, you might not call it a sack, but I grew up in the South, so I say sack. And sometimes I say poke, but most of the time I say sack. Here's this one. A little bit of color here on the bottom. Oh. And I have this little girl. She is from, I think she's from Graphics Fairy. I use a lot of Graphics Fairies graphics because I like them. And they have nut quality items. They're easy to access, they're easy to print out. So basically this is the process. I just go through and do each one. And find things that will go together. Well, I don't like that smack dab in the middle. Don't know why I put it there. I should have known better. There. Better. Okay. So let's ink the back. If I have something that has a decent looking back on it, I don't worry about covering it up or doing anything else to it. This looks to me like it needs something, but I'm not sure what. Maybe some lace. Yeah. Yep, that's what it needs. I would have liked that better on the back, but I think it'll be all right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video on using clusters of scraps to create tags for use in journals and other paper arts. If you wish to see a few more examples of tags being made, then continue watching. Otherwise, thanks for visiting, and I hope you subscribe and come back again to Color Everywhere. Goodbye!